We hear and understand your confusion and wondering about the possible changes in H-1B programs as reported in media these days. Our immigration team at Song Law Firm has obtained and reviewed the draft executive order allegedly prepared by the Trump administration. This draft, which is only a draft, neither confirmed nor signed yet, contains some provisions that could impact the entire employment-based non-immigrant visa programs, including H-1B visa. Given the recent actions that President Trump has aggressively taken in immigration policy through a series of executive orders, regardless of its constitutionality, H-1B program is no longer an exception to this trend. As such, we feel that it would be wise to share with you who are planning to apply for H-1B this year some insightful information on the proposed changes related to H-1B. Prior to answering to this question, it is very important to understand that the draft order at issue is just a draft, and at the moment of this filming, which is February 3rd, 2017, none of the provisions is in fact because the draft was not been signed yet. In addition, please note that there is a possibility that this draft could be substantially modified or even never be signed. Well, speaking of the provisions in the draft, there are no details on how the proposed executive order would impact the H-1B in the near future. In fact, they are all relatively vague, simply directing the Department of Homeland Security to examine potential changes to be made in the future. For example, the draft order instructs the Secretary of Department of Homeland Security in consultation with the Secretaries of State and Labor to prepare a report with suggestions on how to make the work-related non-immigrant visa programs more efficient and how to allocate the visas to better protect the U.S. workers. It also instructs the Department of Homeland Security to provide recommended changes to the immigration laws to move towards a merit-based system. So it appears that this draft version would not have a direct and immediate impact on the upcoming H-1B this 2017, although it will pave the way for change to come during the Trump's term of office. Well, 3 new bills have been introduced by the congressman this year, offering suggestions for how to reform the H-1B program. Taken together with these bills and President Trump's previous campaign rhetorics on H-1B reform, I would say first, it is likely that qualifications criteria for H-1B eligibility would be significantly increased. For example, by requiring all H-1B applicants to have certain level of education beyond bachelor's degree with some professional experience, or by requiring increased salary threshold, especially for those in H-1B dependent IT companies. There is a prospect that the government would also end the current system of computerized lottery that H-1B visas are allocated currently, and instead introducing a preference system where foreign students who enrolled in colleges in the U.S. or who secure a high-paying job get priority in the selection. Second, it is also predictable that the government would strengthen the H-1B evaluation process to prevent H-1B abuse or fraud. This can be achieved, for example, by requiring the government agencies like Department of Homeland Security or Labor to actively monitor and investigate the sponsoring H-1B companies through a mandatory on-site visit. Third, there has been unidentified media coverage reporting that Trump may limit the H-1B period, which is currently allowed for up to 6 years, through a one-time 3-year extension. Lastly, the draft executive order also contains a provision that may impact the CPT and OPT programs. It calls for the Secretary of Homeland Security to start work on a regulation that would reform practical training programs for foreign students to prevent the disadvantaging of U.S. students in the workforce and to better protect U.S. workers. as well as improving monitoring of foreign students. Again, no specific details are provided, but it seems reasonable to conclude that the Trump administration will take steps to curtail at least some of the CPT or OPT benefits currently available to F1 foreign students. It is possible that a few limitations or changes could be effected in the near future once Trump signs the final executive order that is expected in April or May. For example, some kind of increased monitoring on H-1B adjudication process could be possible as long as the Trump administration gets resources in order to enforce such measures. But it will not be easy and quick because securing funds requires a approval of Congress. In addition, Trump's proposed executive order in employment-based non-immigrant visa would face greatest opposition. For example, Sally Yates, the acting attorney general, refused to enforce the Trump's travel ban orders recently. For this, she was dismissed by Trump. Yates' decision came from amid a flood of protests against the executive order nationwide, and after 4 federal judges ruled against Trump's order, staying its impact on people who were detained at U.S. airports over the weekend. As already shown by the state of Washington's lawsuit against the Trump's administration's recent executive orders for its unconstitutionality, it is likely that many stakeholders, including IT companies who are dependent upon H-1B foreign workers, would take legal actions against Trump's possible executive order unreasonably limiting employment-based non-immigrant visa programs, including H-1B visa. In sum, we believe that Trump's immigration proposals are only partially achievable by executive order because anyway it should comply with our Constitution, and Congress must cooperate to make any major changes in H-1B program. Nonetheless, we cannot overlook the fact that President Trump has some powers to control a number of things in the immigration programs through his authority to sign executive orders, even without needing whole-scale reform from Congress. I ask all of you who are considering H-1B this year to pay greater attention to the ongoing issues on the possible H-1B changes and request for legal advice if you need the most updated information or any strategy for preparation of your H-1B case. Our immigration team at Song Law Firm is closely observing the development of the situation and will update you if there are any immediate changes to the H-1B program. We wish you all get good results with this upcoming H-1B. Thank you.